You are listening to The Michael Lodge Show. Wealth, business, and taxes. Oh, yeah, and some politics. Let's get started.
And welcome to this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Saturday morning here in Palm Beach. Wish you guys were here. It's a beautiful morning. Blue skies, light breeze, perfect weather, which is the way it should be every day in Florida. Except we have these mean old hurricanes that pop in and out every once in a while. And it's not very much fun. But listen, it's a beautiful day. And I have something that I need to talk to you about because I tell you, it is bugging me to death. Because we have all of these things happening in this election cycle, and the media is saying, no, there's no fraud, there's no corruption going on, and we all know that there is. And we also know that some votes are having to be recounted again because of irregularities. But yet the media just wants to sit there and lie to us. And I'm getting tired of these lies. And the other thing that I'm getting tired about, Zuckerberg, Facebook, Twitter, trying to manipulate an election. And let me tell you why I say that. One, I'm getting sick and tired of every time I post something about the election that there's a pop-up that comes up from Facebook trying to tell everybody this is under debate. I mean, this statement might not be true, or I'm going to point you in the direction to the true story, which is never a true story. So, Zuckerberg has this charitable organization, and money flows into it. Several hundreds of $millions is put into this charitable organization by Zuckerberg. Now, what does this charitable organization do? Now, remember this. Let's preface this. It's saying that Zuckerberg has already told all of his staff that Biden's going to be president. He made that statement to all of his employees. Then he has made it very clear he doesn't like Trump, so he puts in Biden. That's his guy. Biden is his guy. So his charitable organization then goes out, makes deals with a whole bunch of counties that say if you meet certain criteria, we will provide you with workers for that day to help you count. Now, think about the corruption there. You already know that Zuckerberg does not like Trump. He wants Trump to lose. That's his whole goal. And he has spent millions and millions and millions of dollars trying to defeat Trump. He has a political action group that's what they do. So you have all of these employees working for Zuckerberg's nonprofit organization, counting your ballot, counting my ballot. Red flag. A high possibility of fraud. When you have a person who has already said he wants to defeat Trump, putting employees in various county locations, and the counties don't have to pay these people, it's all paid by the nonprofit, there is a problem there. And it's a big, big red flag. And why these county people and these election people did not stop it is highly unethical. You have an issue where, okay, I know Zuckerberg doesn't want to vote for Trump, so he puts a whole bunch of people in there that have the exact same feeling. I'm talking about possibilities now. So he puts all these people that don't want Trump, and pretty soon some ballots are not being counted, or they're missing, or they're put to the side, they're rejected because of the staff that Zuckerberg has put in there. for Biden. It's highly unethical. And for counties to enter into this type of an agreement with an individual who already has stated so publicly and has acted so publicly through Facebook and Twitter that they are totally against this president, it is corrupt. Now, it could have been done on the other side. If it had been done on the other side, where somebody who loves Trump did the exact same thing that Zuckerberg did, CNN, MSNBC, NBC, XYZ, I don't know who it is, they would all be up in arms and they would say, this is fraud. This is fraud. Now, I want to remind all of you, during the Democratic debates, what were they complaining about? Voter fraud. They said there's going to be great tons of voter fraud. They were panicking. They were foaming at the mouth. They were saying this in the debates themselves, every single one of them. So what do we find? We find that there is voter fraud, and now they're all quiet because it went in their direction. So you can tell right there is no ethics on the Democratic side. As long as something illegal, corrupt, unethical was done and they won, they're fine with it. If it's done for the other party, they want to impeach. So we have a problem here where we have a group of politicians who are so unethical that they will bend over backwards to try to defeat somebody else through corrupt means. Zuckerberg, I don't trust you anymore. And I'm going to tell you this right now, Zuckerberg. As of December 1st, I am no longer with Facebook. In Twitter, as of December 1st, I am no longer on Twitter. Because I've had it. I can no longer trust these two organizations or even the individuals that run the organizations to be fair and honest. There's no way in hell am I going to trust Zuckerberg ever again. Because he has corrupted the system so badly that our information is being tracked, what we're saying, what we're doing, everything, our freedom of speech has been eliminated from Facebook. If they do not like what we're saying, they will kick you out, they will shut you down, they will eliminate that posting, they won't post it at all, or they'll put you in Facebook jail. And I know so many people who have been in Facebook jail or Twitter jail. Twitter has censored so many things of mine and said, listen, if you want to continue on Twitter, you need to delete that one posting. The election process has been corruptly manipulated by individuals out there who do not want to see Trump win. And every single candidate, from congressman all the way up to a senator, down to the county commissioner, should be very concerned about how corrupt and how badly managed our election system is. Even the election commission out of Washington, D.C. said votes are still being counted, but there's still voter fraud going on. But the states do nothing. They continue on doing their stupid thing. Let me tell you one of the biggest things that government has. They spend so much time on manpower, but they don't spend enough time on the computer systems that manage their healthcare systems, their voter and election systems. They spend very little money on protecting that. If you look at the healthcare systems in the majority of the states and even in the federal government, the computer systems are so archaic that they're literally pieced together by other little programs trying to get them to work. And the majority of the people that are sitting in there doing that work on those computers and those systems, some of them don't even have degrees in computer. They have been there for so long that the government can't even get rid of them, and they do absolutely nothing except stir the pot and cause trouble. From Vermont to California. So the data that is going into the majority of these systems is bad data coming out because they don't know how to analyze the data. They don't know how to look and clean it up to make sure that it's clean data or good data. Bad data in, bad data out. So that's exactly what's happening with our election system. They contracted with this Dominion software company that's based in another country where everything is stored. By the way, all of your election data is stored through Spain and then into Germany. That's where it's at. It's in a foreign country. So all of your election data that is supposed to be private and secret and confidential and protected is in another country. PBS, NewsHour, before the elections, they did a piece, and they were looking at the Dominion Software Organization, and they found that the software could be manipulated. Now, why in the world would you put software in an election system that is so vital to this nation, which is a national security issue, that is, one, badly written and can be manipulated, and that it's in a foreign country, it's owned by a foreign country business, who, by the way, is going bankrupt, and all of our data is stored Spain and Germany. Why are we doing this? So my feeling is that if your vote was counted by Dominion Software, take all those ballots, count them by hand, each and every single one of you, because right now you have a corrupted election system. Again, it's bad data in, bad data out. There is the good data that was sitting there on cards, on paper, have been corrupted through a software system. Why in the world do we Americans allow this type of thing to happen? We now have an election system that is tainted. And if we do not clean it up, we're going to have more tainted, more corrupt elections going on because the Democrats don't want to fix it. Listen, they had all those years to fix Obamacare. They did nothing. Nothing. They're still doing nothing. So anything that goes in their direction, their win, even though they know that there's corruption going on, there's voter fraud going on, they don't want to do anything. They want to ignore it, and they lie to us and say, oh, there's nothing going on. Nothing. We have a problem in this country, and it's called fraud. How in the world can we ever trust anyone with a D after their name that says Democrat if they will not support the Constitution of the United States and protect our votes? Protect the right to elect the president through a non-corrupted system. We have been talking about this for years, and nothing ever gets done. Politicians talk, but they never do. So the problem is that you and I have got to take back this government, because this government is nonsense. It's worthless. If we cannot have fair elections, we have a worthless government. We have people there that should not be there. We have people there who were voted into office fraudulently, corruptly, because we are not protecting the software or creating a software program that works. We're not auditing. In fact, I think that all elections need to be audited. Once it's done, it needs to be audited. I think that should be on the books of every single legislature for this year. Make a law that every vote is audited. Because we've got too many problems along the way. We've got people touching the ballots. We've got a machine touching the ballots. We've got software that is corrupted touching the ballots. We can no longer rely upon the systems we've been using, and we've got to clean it up, and we've got to correct it, and everything has got to be audited. And when I say audited, that means through the election boards that sit in all these various counties, they need to be audited. The systems that they're using should be audited. The data that's being stored on a whole bunch of computers need to be audited. There has got to be stronger controls to protect our vote, your vote. We need to be able to go into the voting booth and say, okay, I'm casting my vote for this individual, and know that that vote that you just made is actually going to that individual. Do not listen to CNN. Do not listen to Washington Post. Do not listen to any of these nonsense media outlets, because they want to convince you that nothing went wrong. They want to lie to you right in your face and say nothing went wrong. Politicians want to stand up and say nothing went wrong when everybody knows that something went wrong. Something corrupt, fraudulently went wrong. Americans, you've got to hold these politicians responsible. You've got to hold the media responsible for distributing false news. This has got to stop. Because right now, we cannot trust the news because they're untrustworthy. They promote whatever politician that they're supporting. They have become political activists. I have said this day after day after day. We have got to stop this. You and I, as Americans, we have the ability to stop this, but it has to do with our voice. It has to do with our vote. We have got to stop this manipulation. I've said this before during the course of this week, is that Nancy Pelosi knew exactly what she was doing when during the course of the beginning of this year, and during the debates, she was pushing, and the Democrats were pushing this too, but Nancy Pelosi was really the spokesperson for this, of doing mail-in ballots. She knew that if she created enough chaos, she could create a fraud, and the fraud could live and change the votes. And that's exactly what happened. Why the Democrats even want to keep this corrupt person in power as Speaker of the House, I have no respect for you if you do. None whatsoever. And every single one of you Americans should be writing your members of Congress that are Democrats who are going to vote for her as Speaker and tell them, no, we do not want her back. She is divisive, and she is a liar, for one thing, and she loves to create chaos. And that's all that she has done over the last 4 years, is create chaos, and she knows that if she muddies the water, that you're not going to see what's happening behind the scenes. You're not going to see this Dominion software over there that's owned by a foreign corporation where all of our voting data is kept in a foreign country. But if she muddies the water, you and I are not going to see it unless we dig in. And that is our responsibility. As Americans, as voters, as lovers of this great nation, we have that responsibility to hold these types of politicians in check and get them out of office. Get them out of a leadership role. And Nancy Pelosi needs to be taken down and never be Speaker of the House again in her life. She needs to go. And if you Democrats are not willing to stand up and say, okay, we believe in voter protection, voter rights, and a good and fair election, if you're not willing to do that during this election, when you know that there's fraud going on out there, there's lawsuits by the dozens out there trying to protect the American vote. If you don't get on board with this, you're not going to be around here when we go to our next election in 2 years. A lot of you are running in 2 years. You're not going to go back to Congress. Last night, 2 more Republicans were voted into office, and they're going to Washington, D.C. One from California. I can't remember where the other one is from, but one from California that took a Democrat seat. This is going to happen big time, and you're going to lose control of that Congress because of your actions and inactions. So if you're not willing to stand up and protect the American people and protect our vote, then you're going to be voted out of office, because now we know that the Democrats have muddied the waters and have run a very corrupt election, this 2020 election. Can it be fixed? Yes. But it takes the voice of the American people, and that is you and me. That's why I do this podcast, so that I can have my voice out there and people are listening to my voice. And listen, those of you in foreign countries, you have the exact same problem. You just don't know it. And you're not paying attention. Get involved. Get involved in your elections. Demand to see how your vote is being counted. And Americans, you demand to see how your vote is being counted. And get rid of all of these corrupt and fraudulent and nonsense in election fraud. I mean, it's got to go. Americans, stand up, use your voice. Listen, this is Mike Lodge on this Saturday morning. If you want to comment or send me a question, do it by text, and it's 818-252-5682. Again, that's 818-252-5682. If you want to know what I do during my day job, go to www.lodge-co.com. If you need business advice, I have there's an ability there that you can sit with me for an hour. Costs $60, but you can sit with me and we can go through whatever questions that you have regarding your business, and I'll try and answer it for you. Just do it. If you want to make an appointment, just send me a text at 818-252-5682, or you can go online at www.lodge-co.com. Go to my my bio, and there's a button there that you can push to make an appointment to meet with me for an hour. Do I have anything else to say? Yeah, one other thing. When you go to my website, you can buy my books there. Ethically Thinking, it's not that difficult. Not that hard, I mean. It's not that difficult either, but it's not that hard. And the other one is Daily Strategy, and that's about how we go through life mediating all day long, and you don't even know it. Some of you are really good mediators. You have to, when you get up in the morning, you automatically start mediating with your children. What do you want in your lunch? Well, and it goes on, and then pretty soon you're mediating what you're going to put in the lunch, and then when you're going to pick them up from school. The whole day is mediation, and you don't know it. And some of you are really, really good at it. Anyway, that's what that book is about. Listen, it's time to go. I want each and every single one of you to enjoy this Saturday. Go out and spend some time with your friends and family. Walk the dog. Take them to the dog beach. But just have a great day. This is Saturday. God bless. Talk with you soon. Bye-bye. This podcast is brought to you by Michael Lodge, fully focused on content. God bless.